G'day everybody, Alan Udy for the Historical Aviation Film Unit here. So, Historical Aviation Film Unit, I hear you ask. Where did you come from? Funny you should ask. So the formation of the group, which is a loose grouping of people who are interested in aviation and other things, really happened about 20 years ago when a number of us were involved with some air shows here in New Zealand. And myself in particular, I was keen to ensure that what was happening at those events was recorded for posterity. I've got an interest in history, as you would have seen from the channel, and I thought, you only get one chance to actually record things so that they are available for people in future. So let's get into it. So that's what I did, and we did that over a number of years. Eventually we came up with the Historical Aviation Film Unit name. Went on to develop this channel so that we could push a lot of the interesting footage that we get out to you guys so that you can enjoy it. And there you go. So interestingly enough, when we did start this, it was about the time that the digital video revolution was starting, and essentially all of our material has been shot digitally with digital cameras. No film involved at all. So yeah, we say we're filming, but yeah, it's not quite film, as you can imagine. However, funny thing, we're going retro, and I can show you here, we've even got the film reels to prove it. Now, funny story, a couple of years ago, somebody came out of the blue and said they'd managed to rescue some film and some canisters, just like this, with film reels from a place of work that they were at, where this material was on a trolley and it was on its way to a skip. Now, David, good man that he was, realised that this was history going into the skip and that it absolutely needed to be rescued. So he rang me, said, would I like the material? Could we do something with it? I said, yeah, well, we don't really deal with film, but absolutely. If you know of this historical material that's going into a skip bin somewhere and is going to be trashed, we'll absolutely take it and see what we can do with it further down the track. So eventually, over a period of time, Dave managed to get that material to us, and to be honest, we still haven't even finished going through what's there, but we will be doing that and bringing some of that material to you on the Historical Machines TV channel in coming months. But the funny story was, having got these films from Dave, I then needed to get a 16mm film projector, something that worked so that we could actually play some of these things back and see whether the material was stuff that was already in the video and film archives, or whether it was that barn find stuff of home video that nobody's seen for decades and is going to be really exciting. So that's fine. I finally managed to track down a 16mm projector, so it's been fun getting back into this technology. But here's the funny story. It actually came with a couple of film reels, not these particular ones, but it came with a couple of 400-foot 16mm film reels just like this. Interestingly enough, as soon as I opened the package and realised one of them was labelled top dressing aircraft, I thought, hey, it's meant to be. We're the Historical Aviation Film Unit. I've just bought the projector. It's come with a historical aviation film. This is cool. So I went through the film, did a brief recording of it, and here are a few sections just so you can see what that's like, just to see what was on the material, on the film itself. At one point, I was going through the digital recording of this film and I saw a flicker in the image. And what I found was almost two complete frames of this aircraft here. Now this is obviously an early Fletcher top dressing aircraft, which by the look of it has had some sort of accident and the wheel is off. So the left undercarriage has been damaged. So I thought, wow, really interesting. It's just a shame we don't have any more than one or two frames of this to find out where and what it is. And certainly the rego of the aircraft is pretty difficult to work out. So no luck there. Having done that, I started going through some of the other film reels, which Dave had sent to me. Well, you can imagine my surprise when I came across this footage. Now, this is obviously black and white, whereas the previous image was a colour film, but plainly, it's the same aircraft accident, it's the same aircraft, it's the same people. So, two completely different film reels from two completely different sources, and they end up here with us, the Historical Aviation Film Unit. I think it was fate. They were destined to come to us, and we were destined to do something with it. So here it is again. Here's the black and white footage, which actually shows you a little bit more about the aircraft. So is there anybody out there that knows where this aircraft crashed back in the day? And in fact what the accident was. Doesn't look too bad, possibly just a landing incident, but would be really interested to know. The other thing to point out is, for those of you who are aware of 16mm film like this, even 8mm Super 8 film, there's a lot of the stuff sitting around, and I suspect there's a lot that's also been thrown away, unfortunately. But if you know some of this stuff, it is worthwhile digging it out and seeing what can be done to preserve it in a digital format. Because just like magnetic VHS tapes, film actually does degrade, and it appears that it's degrading faster than most people assume. So we're going to have a separate video on that, describing what is known as Vinegar Syndrome, which is how this acetate-based film actually degrades. So don't think that if you've got old home movies sitting in a cupboard somewhere that they're going to still be great in 50 years' time, because that's not necessarily the case. For those of you in New Zealand who have material like this, particularly if it's, well, any sort of machine, aviation, old agricultural machinery, and we've seen some films like that, if you want to see it not necessarily fully restored, but at least converted to a digital one, get in touch with us and we'll see what we can do to help you to save some of this material before it's irretrievably lost. That's it for me for the moment. Hope you enjoyed this little story, and here's a few extra clips from some of the film reels that we've found. We'll be editing some of this material together over coming months, and hopefully weaving a bit of a story around what we've found from some of this material.